these rules apply only to required escrow accounts, and not voluntary escrow accounts. You might say, well, how do we tell the difference? Well, from a regulatory perspective, there's no requirement that you do anything to show the difference, but you need to be able to demonstrate compliance. And so if you're handling voluntary escrow accounts, it's a good idea to make sure that you know and the customer knows, and then we throw one other one out there, that the examiner knows, that the auditor knows that it's not an escrow account that's subject to Regulation X and the RESPA requirements. And so the best way to do that is actually have you flip momentarily to page number 2. There is a voluntary escrow letter. So if you do any sort of voluntary escrow accounts, and many times what happens is you do a variety or a majority of required escrow accounts, but because you have the capacity to do so, you also have some accounts that are voluntary. In other words, you're not requiring the escrow account, but somebody asks you if you'd escrow for them. Well, technically, those don't have to comply with the RESPA escrow requirements. The way to demonstrate that that account is not one that has to follow the RESPA rules is by entering into a voluntary escrow agreement between you and the customer. That shows the customer, one, it's their money. They can come in and take it at any time. More on that in a moment. And number 2, the auditor and the examiner, that this account does not have to comply with the RESPA escrow requirements. Now, many institutions apply those same principles, but they wouldn't be required. Now, the other way to distinguish, aside from the contract, the letter between you and the customer that shows that this is voluntary, is simply this understanding that if it's truly voluntary, if I've set up a voluntary escrow account with you, I should be able to walk through your doors, walk up to the teller line and go, I want my money, and walk out with it immediately. If you can't provide the money immediately, that means it likely is not a voluntary escrow account. It's my money. If it's voluntary, I should be able to come in, ask for it, and then walk out with it immediately. If there's anything, any strings or anything like that that are tied to it, then it's going to likely lead us to believe that it's not a voluntary escrow account.